Howdy! Welcome to Aspire Mountain Academy. I'm Professor Curtis, your instructor for this course in Introductory Statistics. In less than 10 minutes, this video shows how to make and use stem plots, also known as stem and leaf plots. Let's get started. Okay, stem plots or stem and leaf plots basically take numbers and split them off into segments called stems and leaves. The stem is the major part of the number, which is usually everything but the last digit, and the leaf is the minor part, which is usually just the last digit. So here in this data set we have stems, which are here basically representing the tens places of your number. Okay, so everything but the last digit. And then the leaf is representing the ones place, which is the last digit. So look at the first value in our data set. It's 10, okay, because we take the 1 and we put the 0 after it, and that makes 10. Okay, the next number in our data set is 13. Okay, so we're going to take this 1, put it with the 3, and that brought together makes 13. So 13 is the next number in our data set. It's a different way of representing numbers within a data set. Now, you can make the attachment between stem and leaf at any point along the number. Here we don't have a choice, right? Because we've only got 2 digits in the actual number. But if you've got more digits, you can make the break between stem and leaf to be at any point along that number. Okay. However, the most commonly used convention is to just make the last number there, the last digit rather in the number, to be your leaf and the rest of it to be the stem. Now, also note, repeating values are stacked, okay, just like we saw in dot plots. You got the same value in the column, you're going to put the dot one over the other. Well, here you're doing something similar with the stem plot. We've got two 35s here in our data set. They're listed one right after the other. Now, if you don't include each of those repeated values, then there's a portion of the information that could be communicated that you're withholding. And whoever looks at this won't know you have 35 repeated twice in your data set. So you want to make sure that each individual value in your data set actually has representation here in your stem and leaf plot. Now, you can make stem and leaf plots inside StatCrunch. So let's watch a short demonstration of how to do that for the heights of elected U.S. presidents using the POTUS data file in our StatCrunch group. Okay, here we are in the POTUS file, and we're going to make a stem and leaf plot for the heights of elected U.S. presidents. So up here I go to Graph, and then I click on Stem and Leaf. Want the heights of elected U.S. presidents, so we select the column where our data is located. And then we have some options down here. The leaf unit option tells you where you're actually going to separate the stem and the leaf. And you don't have to select this. The default selection is just to check the 1, but I don't have to select anything, so I'm just going to let the default go. You can also group the data by different groups within your data set if you want. That's another option for you. Outlier trimming is another option you have with stem and leaf plots. Outlier trimming is essentially saying, are we going to take the outliers into our data set and put them on the graph, or are we going to leave them off? And so you have some different options here. The default is extreme only. What you really want to do is select none. This should be the default selection because you want to see what the whole graph looks like first, identify whether you have any outliers, and then from that point decide which ones you want to exclude, whether it's the extreme ones only or whether it's the ones that are both mild and extreme. So I always select the none to start off with so I can see everything in my data set before I go further. I hit compute, and there's my stem and leaf plot. So I hope that helps you. Okay, now here's a summary of what we just did. So if you prefer this as a guide to the video we just saw, you can pause the video here and use this guide to help you construct your dot plot. Now, before you go, look at the stem plot here and tell me this. Do any outliers appear in the data set? Okay, remember, outliers are data points that are far removed from the main group. Well, no, there are no outliers here. Okay, if there were any outliers, we would see gaps in our stem and leaf plot, but we don't see any gaps here. All the data is pretty much collected together into one group, so there are no outliers here. Okay, and that brings us to the end of this mini lecture. I hope it was helpful for you. You can find more mini lectures for this and other courses at AspireMountainAcademy.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.